Hey everyone! Today, with the help of code overrides, we're going to see how to build a counter in Framer. I already have it set up and I'm going to show you how the pieces come together. The right, left, and reset buttons are variants of the same component. I'll open it so we can take a closer look. We have a hover state, a left disable state for when the counter reaches 0, and a reset button to reset the counter. It's important to type the variant names correctly because we'll use them in the code later. If the names don't match, our counter won't work. Back on our page, we have a stack with a text element that starts as 0. Now we're going to create code overrides so we can interact with the counter from code. So now on the left panel, let's open the assets tab and new code file, and let's create a new override called counter. Let's make the code font bigger, and I'm going to delete this random corner line. I'm going to change the name from background to code and initialize it at 0. Now I'm going to rename this function from with rotate to with count. This makes more sense because we're building a counter, not a rotation effect. I'm going to move this use store hook from with hover to our new function with count, and now I can create a variable count. Let count equals start.count.toString. We're converting start.count to a string because the component expects a string as its value. So we write let count equals start.count.toString. Now we're going to remove animate and transition from the component. We don't need animations for this counter, so we can simplify the code. And finally, we pass text equals count to the component. This makes sure the text element displays the current count from our store. Now we can delete the rest of the functions, save this file, and let's preview our component. Now let's go back to our page and connect the counter text with the code override. On the right panel, scroll down to code overrides, file equals to counter, and override equals to with count. If we initialize code at 9, save the file, and go back to preview, you can see that it shows the value of count from the store. Now let's go back to edit code. First, look at this line, create store. This function is imported from the Framer store library and is used to create a centralized store with an initial state. Now I'm going to duplicate the with count function and change its name to with increment click. Let's define here this increment arrow function that increments the value of count by 1. This function runs whenever the onClick event fires. Now we change text for onClick and we pass our increment function. Alright, let's save the file and hook up our button to the increment click override. Now, when we click on the button, we can see it's working properly. Now let's go back, duplicate this function, and change its name to with decrement click. We have to change the name of the arrow function as well to decrement, and instead of adding 1, we're going to subtract 1. Now let's hook this button up to its override, and when we preview it, you'll see it decreases the counter value. We don't want the counter going below 0, so we fix that with a simple if check. Now clean up the return by wrapping it in parentheses. Just makes it easier to read. Remember to always change the variant after props, or you won't see any changes. This line says, if the counter is at 0, show the left disable button. Otherwise just show the normal left button. Now if we decrease the counter to 0, you'll notice the button switches to the left disable variant. Let's change this value back to 0, copy and paste this function here, and change its name to with reset. This reset arrow function just resets the counter to 0 when we call it. Let's hook up the reset button to our new with reset override. Let's give it a try, and everything functions perfectly. Alright, that's it for this one. We built everything using simple arrow functions, keeping the code short and easy to follow. If you found this helpful, give the video a like and subscribe. I've got more tutorials coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.